Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday morning, so time for us to do some stamping together again. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. Let me show you the card that we're going to make today. So this is my card. It is a bit of a fun fold card, so not a very complicated one, but it's going to open up like that, and you can see that it just needs to be flattened a little bit more to give it all the, so that those folds stay nicely folded. Let's go through the products that we're going to be using today. I started playing with the Season of Chic stamp set yesterday, so that's where the flowers and the sentiments are from, and it has coordinating dies. Now, so far I've only used the outline dies, but I can see that I'm going to have lots of fun playing with these dies. Look at that. That's a really beautiful image, just to cut out something and put it onto a card as sort of a background image to your flowers or shells or whatever. So I'm looking forward to playing with this some more. Then, oops, I just dropped a die. This suite also comes with DSP, and this paper is beautiful. It's on your one side, you've got these images with the gold going through it, and the other side has those same sort of mottled colors but without the gold. So I think that this is going to be really nice paper. The problem is, which side do you use, because they're both lovely. And the only other dies that I'm using in this card, I just want to pick up the one that fell onto the floor, is another new favorite, the Stylish Shapes dies. So this is, I'm going to say, similar to our old stitched shapes, except that the stitched shapes had ovals. These don't have ovals, but they've got the banners, and I've got one missing here. There is a big banner that's in this width. So for my card over here, I've used the second largest and the third largest. So we've cut the pink here, the petal pink, out with the second largest one, and my white circle there is with the third largest. So these dies are another lot that you're going to want to have in your collection, because you're just reaching for them and can't get away from it. Alright, so I'm going to do this one in Pool Party, and instead of the flowers, I'm going to use the shell images. So we've got our standard card base, 14.9 by 21 centimeters. If you're working in inches, that would be your 5.5 by 11. And I've just cut that Stylish Shapes circle from roughly in the middle and towards the top. You can see that it doesn't really matter where it goes. This one I actually cut it a bit lower, that one's a bit higher. That's okay. And then we need a piece for this inside card. So that's going to be 14.4 centimeters by 20 centimeters. And if you're working in inches, it's going to be your 5.25 inches by 8 inches. So with inches, your inside card is going to be a little bit smaller, but that's okay. I've just got, I guess, a little less space around the inside here, but I don't want to mess with it. I want to keep those measurements easy, because we need to score it. So we're scoring in half here, so at 10 centimeters, and then we're going to score at 5 centimeters. So if you're working in inches, you're scoring at 6 inches and 4 inches. So we've got that divided into thirds, and we're going to give that a good press with the bone folder. Okay, and this one we're going to fold back. Now this is like our normal Z fold, except that it's going in the opposite direction. So normally if I was opening up my card, we would be opening it that way, but because this is on the inside, it's opening, if we're just looking at it like this, backwards. Alright, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's do our stamping and then we'll get busy with assembling. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just stamp my shell. Now, let's pull out the stamp set again. You can see here that this has got sort of a fill-in layer, and then it's got a top layer. You've got the same with the flowers, the same with the leaves. So I'm going to start with the fill-in layer. And with my pool party, I'm just going to randomly stamp it, tone on tone, just to give that little bit of interest. I have a problem with just plain card bases. They always need to have a bit more something on them. Maybe we'll just put a little bit of a shell in over there. Okay, so that's that done. And now I've already cut out a few of these shells, but I just wanted to show you. I'm stamping again that background image in the pool party. Oops. This is a new stamp pad, so it's a bit stiff. And then with my Versamark, I'm taking the detailed image and we're just stamping it over. Now, because it's the photopolymer stamp, you can actually see through it quite nicely to see where you're positioning it. But if it's not 100% accurate, it doesn't matter. It is very forgiving. Okay, so throw your gold embossing powder over here. And yes, I do still have my very old embossing tray. And I know that lots of people have been dying to get hold of one. So just a little hint, wait for the new mini catalogue. That's all I'm telling you. Okay, now I just need a bit of cardboard because otherwise I'm going to melt the laminate on my mat. Now, I only started playing with this set yesterday, and my immediate thing was to do gold embossing on the top, as you can obviously see that I did with those flowers. My problem now is I don't know that I'm ever going to get out of not doing that, and the reason that I did it is because it then matches with the DSP. So you've got, you know, that gold or that which just matches with the gold in the DSP. So I think that that works really well. But like I said, now I've got gold embossing in my head with the stamp set. So that's going to be a little problem. And then you're going to cut them out with the matching die. And there we go. I stamped 6 shells. I've done 6 flowers here as well. Whether we're going to need all of them, we'll just see, but rather have too many than too few. And I also heat embossed the sentiment and cut it out with one of my smaller stylish shaped circles. Now we can start assembling our card. Alright, so I've got 2 pieces of DSP. These are 4.5 centimeters by 13.9 centimeters. If you're using inches, it would be 1 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And we're going to just stick those down. And I don't know whether it's because I've been leaving the lids off, just making sure I'm sticking it on the right piece. Yep, the lids off too often, or whether it's the cold weather, but I've been finding that my glue doesn't want to come out of its bottle very readily these days. So I'm pleased to see that this one's not giving me any problems. Alright, now, so those two, again, and it may not make intuitive sense, but we're sticking them next to each other when that fold is open. And then we're going to stick the whole piece onto the inside. And remember here, you want that, your folded DSP bit sticking out. And you know, I always battle to get things straight, but we just want it roughly that it's centered. Okay, so there's that bit done. And oops, why is this sticking? Oh, actually, it was good that it was sticking because it looked like everything was lying flat very nicely, but it wasn't supposed to be sticking. Now I'm going to take my die cut circle and we're just going to stick it onto the pool party one. And my thinking was that the shell card would be a bit more masculine, so we've got flowers feminine, shells masculine, but my husband told me that no, they're not really masculine, so we won't go masculine, and we'll say that the shell one is a little bit more unisex. Okay, so you can use it for either your male or female friends, but don't say it's masculine because I got into trouble for that one. And there's no right or wrong, I'm just sticking them however. And I was just about to throw a fit that my dimensionals had disappeared again because I know that I put 2 sheets here before I started. There we go, there's the other one. See, they hide from me. Doesn't matter how many sheets of dimensionals I have, they're always missing when I'm busy doing my lives. Okay, so there we go. And then all that I'm going to do is, with this closed, I'm putting some glue onto that bit there. So that's the only bit that we want stuck. And then I'm going to position my circle so that it fills in, just goes back into its hole. And I always like working with circles because it doesn't matter if you haven't got it straight, you just turn the circle and it straightens, unlike squares where if it's crooked, it's obviously crooked. Circles, you can just make it straight. A couple of dimensionals on the back of my sentiment. And we'll pop that down there. And then for the inside of my card, I could have done my normal stamping, but I just thought because I wanted the things overlapping, yes, I could have masked them, but then it was going to get too hard with the embossing as well. So just a few extra of my die cuts. And I think that this time I might just actually put one shell in the corner. I'll keep the others and of course use them to decorate the envelope. Because we all know I have to have everything matching, the inside and the envelopes all have to match. Alright, so there's our card in the two different colors. Okay, I've just realized something which doesn't really matter. I probably shouldn't point out my mistakes, but looking at this, when I did that one, I actually used the outline image. Here I did the inside. I probably could have done the outline. It would have just looked a bit more subtle with the shells on there, but oh well. It doesn't look too bad, and like I say, if you don't tell anybody what your mistakes are, they won't notice them. So, see if I've got enough space here to open them both out for you. So, there's our cards in those two different colors. Like I said, it's a very simple fun fold, but I think that it's actually quite effective. So, have a play with that. Like I said, you're going to want to order the suite if you haven't ordered it yet, because even if you don't use it as a suite, this DSP is beautiful. So I hope that you've enjoyed that, and I will see you again next Sunday. Have a good weekend. If you're in Melbourne, stay warm. Our weather is taking a dive for the worst. See you next week. Bye.